All right, I think we're live. Hey, everybody, it's Doug Schauf with the Make Maine your home team over at Remax Oceanside. I'm just going to roll right into this because once we're done with this, we're going to post this so everybody can see it. So I won't bother waiting for people to join in, although I'll keep an eye on it. And if I see people come in, great. We'll be here. So what we wanted to do today, and we're going to try to do this every week, is talk about what's happening in the market and answer some of the most common questions we're getting right now is what's happening in the market. There's a lot of news out there. Is a crash coming? What's happening? Our price is going to plummet? Our price is still going up? All those things that people are asking of us. And all these questions are justified. All the news out there, you're like, what the heck's going on? So we're going to try to shine some light on what is going on and give it to you straight. So first thing I wanted to chat about was, what is going on in the market? And I'm going to talk a lot about inventory and what kind of market we're in, because the last bunch of years we've been in a seller's market. And a lot of people are like, oh, geez, maybe are we in a buyer's market yet? All that kind of stuff. So let me first explain what a seller's market, what a normal market is, and what a buyer's market is. And we talk about inventory levels and how many months of supply there are. And what that basically means is if we stopped right now and all the inventory was out there, how long would it take to sell? And how, so when a house hits the market, how long does it take to sell? That's kind of the question. That's what we base all of our, decisions on, whether it's a seller's market or a buyer's market. So a seller's market is anywhere from, 0 or, 1 month's worth of inventory to 4 or 5. And then a normal market is actually 4 or 5 to 6, 7 or 8. So in that time frame, we haven't seen that kind of inventory for a very long time. So a normal market is, imagine putting your house on the market and it could potentially take 7 or 8 months to sell. And then a buyer's market is, anything above 7 or 8 months of inventory. And, 10 years ago, we were in that buyer's market, time frame coming out of the crash of 2008-ish. We were in that buyer's market. And man, has it shifted. The last probably 4 or 5 years, we've been in a seller's market. Inventory levels are extremely low. And as of right now, inventory levels are still at the lowest that we've seen, potentially the lowest. I looked at some data in our MLS system for Cumberland County and the Portland area. And last year, 2022 in February, months worth of inventory was about 1.5 months worth of inventory, right around there. And that was before interest rates, went up and pulled back some demand and all that stuff. So it was an extremely hot market last year. And this year I looked at it and it's actually less. It's a little bit below a month worth of inventory. So inventory levels are down again, which is really driving this market. Demand has gone down since interest rates went up, but interest rates peaked at about 7%. And now they're back down around 6-ish. And that's creating demand again because it's starting to level out. Everybody's like, okay, interest rates are what they are. And, we still got to buy a home. So the demand is there. But the supply just isn't. The inventory levels are extremely low. So to answer the question of what kind of market are we are in very much a seller's market. And in a few minutes, I'll talk about, is it a good time to buy and sell? And, there are some great benefits to buying a home, and we'll talk about that. But right now we are in a seller's market. There's not a lot of inventory. There's still a lot of demand. So that's the type of market that we're in. And, let's see. So the other question that we get a lot is, whether you're looking to buy or sell, hey, is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? So let me talk about selling a house first. If you're sitting there is it talking about making a move? It is an awesome time to sell. Because we just talked about, we are in very much a seller's market. So it is a great time to sell. If you bought even a year ago, prices have gone up. But if you bought, 5, 6, 7 years ago, you're going to do extremely well on your asset that you own right now. And oftentimes we get, well, geez, where are we going to go if we sell? Because that's part of the problem why inventories are coming, because people are like, hey, where do we go? That's what we do as a real estate broker, me and my team. That's what we do for a living, is find people houses to live in. So if you're like, where do I go? Yes, you might not see something on the market, but we can find you homes. We've never left anybody homeless. But anyway, it is a great time to sell because of the limited inventory. There's not a lot of competition out there. So when a property hits the market, the demand that's out there is going to flock to it. And that's what we're seeing. Multiple bids, prices getting bid up, those types of things are still happening now. So it's a great time to sell. So this is the tricky conversation is it a good time to buy? Okay. If you're out there thinking, man, I'd really like to buy a house, is it a good time to buy? In my eyes, it is also still a good time to buy. There's no indicators that are telling us that prices are going to fall, prices are going to drop dramatically. So prices are going to continue to rise. I would hate for you in 10 years to be looking back and saying, I should have bought then. So I often have conversations with people about how long do you plan on being in a house? If you're looking for that 20-year house, 10, 20-year house, like, hey, I want to raise my family, or you're like, hey, I'm downsizing and I'm just going to stay here forever type thing. If you're going to be there for a long period of time, in the history of real estate, you almost always make out. So it's still a great time to buy. And the good thing is, since interest rates have risen, the demand has come back a little bit. So it is a little bit less competition. As much as we're still seeing multiple offers, we're not seeing the horror stories of like 40 offers on properties, or at least not as many of those. So competition. And so it is still a very good time to buy. Because prices are slated to continue to rise, which is going to be good for your investment. And overall, it's way better than renting. When you're renting, you're just throwing money out the window. You're paying somebody else's mortgage, so you might as well pay your own. It's a good time to buy. And again, if you're looking online at properties and there's just not a lot out there, and you're like, geez, there's nothing to buy. I get that. There really isn't a lot, but reach out to us and we can help you find properties. We do a lot to find off-market properties, and we can help you out with those types of things. So just to do a quick recap, we're in a seller's market, talking about inventory levels being extremely low. And is it a good time to sell? Absolutely. If you're talking about selling, you should have a serious conversation with us or a professional, and we can help you out with that. Is it a good time to buy? In my eyes, yes, it's still a great time to buy. To continue to rise, you might as well jump in now. All right. So, hey, if you have any questions, comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Hit us up on any social media. My email and cell phone is all over the place. So feel free to reach out anytime. And remember, if you make Maine your home, you don't have to do it alone.